That number is the average American household's net worth. $47,000. Now here's what should terrify you. That number hasn't grown in real terms in over a decade. You're working harder, you're earning more, you might even be saving. And yet, something is quietly, invisibly, systematically taking it from you. Not a scammer, not a bad investment, not bad luck. 5 forces, hiding in plain sight, that most people will never identify, let alone stop. Today, we name all 5, and more importantly, we show you how to fight back. Here's the uncomfortable truth about personal finance in 2026. The threats to your wealth are no longer obvious. They're not a market crash you can see coming. They're not a layoff you might predict. They're not even debt you knowingly took on. They are gradual, structural, and engineered, in some cases to be invisible. And they compound, silently, every single month. Over the next 10 minutes, we're going to dismantle 5 of the biggest ones. We'll look at the data, we'll show you the math, and we'll give you a concrete framework to stop the bleeding before it costs you your financial future. Let's get into it. You got the raise, you worked for it, you deserved it. But here's the question nobody asks you afterward. Did your savings rate actually go up? For most people, it didn't. In fact, research from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that as income rises, discretionary spending rises even faster. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is absolutely relentless. It starts small, a nicer apartment because you can afford it now, a car upgrade because it's a write-off, a dinner budget that quietly doubles because you work hard and deserve it. None of those are wrong, by the way. The problem is what happens at scale over time. If your expenses grow at the same rate as your income, you are not building wealth. You are running in place on a more expensive treadmill. The data is stark. A person earning $60,000 with a 20% savings rate will retire wealthier than someone earning $150,000 with a 5% savings rate, assuming similar investment returns. The fix isn't deprivation. It's the first dollar rule. Every time your income increases, commit the first 50% of that raise to savings or investment before lifestyle adjusts, before you even feel the money. Because your lifestyle will always expand to meet your income, the discipline is in the gap you create before it does. Here is a wealth killer that requires you to do absolutely nothing to lose money. It will drain your purchasing power, even if you never spend a single dollar. It's inflation, and more specifically, it's currency debasement. Since 1971, when the U.S. officially left the gold standard, the dollar has lost over 87% of its purchasing power. That means the $100,000 sitting in a standard savings account earning 0.5% APY is quietly, mechanically losing ground every single year. And here's where it gets insidious. The Federal Reserve's official inflation target is 2%. But even at that acceptable level, money sitting in cash halves in real value roughly every 35 years. Cash is not a safe haven. In an inflationary environment, cash is a slow-motion loss. The wealthy understand this deeply. That's why they hold real assets, equities, real estate, commodities, and yes, increasingly hard-cap digital assets, things that can't be printed. The fix: understand your real return. Subtract inflation from every yield you're earning. If your savings account says 4.5% but inflation is running at 3.8%, your real return is 0.7%. After tax, you may be negative. Money should never sit idle. It should always be working in assets that at minimum outpace the rate at which the currency is being devalued. This one is uncomfortable, but ignoring it is financially catastrophic. The labor market is undergoing the fastest structural shift in a century. Automation and AI are not coming for just manual jobs. They're coming for cognitive ones. Analysis, drafting, coding, customer service, accounting, radiology, entire sectors are being compressed. McKinsey estimates that by 2030, Up to 375 million workers globally may need to change occupational categories. Not just update skills, change categories entirely. And here's how this becomes a wealth killer. Your income trajectory is your single most important wealth-building variable. If that trajectory flatlines or reverses, because your skills depreciate faster than you reskill, every other financial strategy becomes less effective. The highest ROI investment you can make right now is in skills that compound, specifically at the intersection of human judgment and emerging technology. The fix is not panic, it's diagnosis. Ask honestly, which parts of my job could be automated in 5 years? Then invest aggressively in the capabilities that make you irreplaceable in a hybrid intelligence economy. Adaptability is not a soft skill anymore. It is a hard financial asset. Wealth Killer 4. Subscription Fatigue 739-00. The death by 1,000 monthly charges. Graphic, scrolling list of logos, Netflix, Spotify, Adobe, gym apps, news sites, cloud storage, meal kits, keeps going and going. Quick exercise. Right now, without looking at your bank statement, how much are you spending monthly on subscriptions? Most people guess around $80. The average American actually spends $219 per month on subscriptions, nearly triple what they estimate. That gap between perception and reality is not an accident. It is a business model. Subscription pricing is specifically designed to exploit a cognitive bias called the set and forget effect. Once a charge is recurring, our brains categorize it as fixed, like rent or utilities, even when it isn't necessary. Netflix added $2, you didn't cancel. Adobe raised Creative Cloud 15%, you didn't cancel. The gym you haven't been to since February, still billing. $219 month in subscriptions is $2,628 a year. Invested at 8% annually over 20 years, that's over $130,000 in foregone wealth. The fix: conduct a subscription audit every quarter, not annually. Pull every recurring charge. For each one, apply a single test. If this disappeared tomorrow, would I actively go resubscribe? If not, it goes. This is not about being cheap. This is about being deliberate with the money you already have. This is the most dangerous one, because it feels like financial responsibility. Passive accumulation is the belief that saving money, putting it away, not touching it, is inherently building wealth. It isn't, not anymore, not in this environment. Saving is the starting point. But in a world of persistent inflation, rising asset prices, and compounding opportunity cost, saving without a deployment strategy is a slow leak. Think about this. The S&P 500 has returned an average of roughly 10% annually over the past century. Someone who kept their savings in cash over the last 20 years didn't just miss gains. They lost ground in real terms. The psychological trap is that accumulation feels safe. A rising savings account number triggers the same reward response as actually building wealth. The brain doesn't distinguish between the two, but the math does. Wealth is not built by saving money. It is built by deploying capital into assets that generate returns greater than inflation and taxes combined. The fix requires a mindset shift. Every dollar you earn should have a job. Some dollars protect against inflation. Some grow capital. Some provide liquidity. Some hedge risk. A passive saver has money. An active capital allocator builds wealth. The difference, compounded over decades, is everything. Let's bring this together. 5 forces, all invisible, all ongoing, all compounding. Lifestyle inflation erodes the gap between what you earn and what you keep. Currency debasement erodes the value of what you keep. Labor market shifts erode the engine that produces it. Subscription fatigue drains the margin you thought you had. And passive accumulation gives you the false comfort of thinking you're safe, while all 4 of the others quietly do their work. None of these are insurmountable, but none of them are passive to fight. Wealth defense in the modern economy is an active discipline. It requires awareness, quarterly reviews, honest self-assessment, and most importantly, a commitment to treating your finances like a system that needs ongoing management, not a set-it-and-forget-it account. The people who win financially are not necessarily the highest earners. They are the most deliberate. They see the forces working against them, and they architect a life that works around them. The goal is not to make more money. The goal is to keep more of what you make and put it to work harder than any of these forces can drain it. Now, what's next? Step 1. This week, run your subscription audit, every recurring charge. Kill what fails the resubscribe test. Step 2. Calculate your real savings rate after inflation. If it's under 15%, that's your first target. Step 3. Honestly assess where your income sits in the context of the labor market shifts happening in your industry. Not where it was 5 years ago, where it's going. If this gave you a new frame for thinking about your money, share it. The people around you are facing the same forces. Most of them just don't have the language for it yet. If you want to go deeper, we've got a full breakdown of inflation-proof asset allocation strategies coming next. Drop a comment if that's something you want to see.